What's going on, DZ Team? And Z here. Welcome back to another video. And this video is going to be a little different than what we normally do. It's going to be a little bit more on the sensitive topic, but it's going to be regarding the recent shooting in Virginia on the Walmart. So we're going to watch the video here, and then I'm going to kind of react to it and talk about it, and I'll explain more as we go on. So without further ado, welcome to the video. All right, guys, so let me explain a little bit of the context before we kind of go into this. So I'm not going to explain the shooting, but the reason I'm doing a video like this is because recently I've been getting a lot of family members and friends asking me about gun strategies, and people are fearing more as the holidays are coming around and Black Friday for, protecting themselves. So this recent occurrence happened right after another shooting at a nightclub, and so I felt like it would be the need to kind of get my thoughts and opinions on it as stuff like this continues to happen. I'm sure I'm going to get more questions from families and friends and people that I know asking me about these kind of topics, and students that come into my class, right, as more current events kind of change that way, and sensitive topics and people's moralities going low because of gun violence and deaths and stuff. I feel like it would be a good path to kind of diverge into. So without further ado, I'm going to come to the screen here and kind of watch this video from USA Today that they posted on YouTube. So without further ado, let's get into it.
I was way at the other end, like garden area, and it sounded loud as shit. It was so many of the same kind of sound, I didn't know what else it could have been. And then people just started running past me.
We are truly saddened at the tragedy that took place in our community last night. We are all praying for the family, friends, and co-workers of everyone that's affected by this senseless violence.
All right, guys. So as you saw, it was a shooting at Walmart. An employee did it in the break room and started shooting people. So my thoughts on this and things to kind of think about is, how do we stop gun violence, right? It's the question that I get asked a lot. And as far as people that are looking to get gun training or not, how do we stop stuff like this? So let's put it into perspective, right? Look at all the things that are illegal right now. Look at drugs, alcohol. The reason why people are in prison because they did something illegal, right? And prisons and correctional facilities are overflowing with population in certain places and in most places because people are breaking the law, right? So immediately you're going to hear a lot of people, especially on the other side of things, say, oh, we need to put more restriction on guns, without looking at the hindsight as looking at what it does to the good guys that are carrying guns. And the problem that we come into, right, is that it's hard to find who the good guys from the bad guys, because good guys and bad guys look alike. It's not one demographic looks different from another demographic, right? If you go to your job or your workplace, you'll know that some people put in more work than somebody else, but typically it's not because of what they're wearing. It's because of how they grew up, their mentality, the beliefs, whatever the case may be, stuff that they see internally or stuff that has happened in the past from past traumas or whatever the case may be. You can't really judge that based off of sweatshirts and pants or a polo, right? So with that being said, it kind of goes hand in hand when we start looking at gun control, gun violence. How do we stop this? How do we mitigate this? And so my recommendation for stuff like this would be, okay, well, the way to stop bad people from doing bad things is to have good people willing to combat the evil, just like police officers do when stuff like this happens, or the military, right? And people are like, oh, well, let's just have those people carry guns. That's cool and all, but understand that they're underpopulated and people have to volunteer to do that work. They have to get paid to do that work. And some people, will do that without having to get paid just because of their morals and beliefs. But you kind of get the nutshell that I'm talking about. People have to apply for a job with an extensive training, extensive background check, meet certain qualifications in order just to do that. So with how small of a population it is, right? Let's say everybody in the world got into a gunfight. Everybody in the world was meeting some sort of evil. You and somebody else, just one-on-one facing an evil person, right? Who do you think you're going to call? The police are fighting somebody already. They're people too. Right? They're here for themselves and they're here for you. So with that being said, as well as the military, right? They're here for themselves and their family as well as you. But if everybody in the world is having a one-on-one battle with somebody else, who's going to be there to save you? Essentially nobody, right? And even if there was, right? So going into time standards, because I could talk about this all day and I don't want to ramble too long, but going into time standards, people need to have time to get to you. I've been looking at YouTube videos for a good amount of time today, just looking at 911 calls from all over the state and all over the world, and people like, why aren't you guys doing anything? What's going on in mass shooting context, right? And you have to understand there's planning, there's procedures, so more people don't die, and when they can be mitigated in a sense, or at least helped on, and have better survival circumstances if we all learned how to carry guns, protect ourselves, and shoot. So as many bad people are willing to commit violence on the behalf of making a quick dollar, or whatever the case may be, good people need to be able to commit violence as well on behalf of defense of themselves or others, so that they can go home, so that other people can go home at the end of the day and live and not let the bad guys win that day. So my perspective on this is, in a nutshell, the only way to stop this is good guys to be able to commit equal or higher violence than the bad guys in order to stop this or deter this kind of problem. Because making more laws that can be broken and that will be broken, that always have since the beginning of time, can only do so much. And then let's say we put half of the earth from all the bad guys, half of people that want to do ill intent inside prison. How are we going to store all these people? How are we going to feed all these people? Because prisons feed them, right? How are they going to clothe them and all this stuff? That goes into taxpayers' dollars. So think about all this stuff, right? So it may seem like a good solution in one context, but have a bunch of other trickling bad effects on the other hand, which is why I said the only way to really stop this, as the world evolves and things get worse and things get more advanced, now we need to evolve with it. You either evolve with the earth or you get left behind. And so as we're trying to catch up and good people are trying to catch up to protect ourselves, our family, each other, it can't just be law enforcement, it can't just be military, it has to be you and I, which is why I came into this industry, is to be able to protect and train people. I train myself. I'm an instructor and I still train. I'm an instructor and I still watch gun violence videos of shootouts and home invasions, so I can learn how the other person thinks, right? And this has nothing to do with my military background. This is just, even before I was in the military, this was kind of my MO, is kind of how I thought. It was a protector mindset, because I want to be able to protect myself and not have to rely on somebody, because if I need somebody, I need them right there at that moment, not 5 minutes or 4 minutes down the road, not even a minute down the road. I want them there at that moment because I need you at that moment. And if I can be that person that I needed, why not? So think about that as well, right? If you have a wife, if you have kids, sister, brother, somebody that you care about is with you and you can't protect them, and all you have is your hands and they got a gun, you can't karate chop a bullet out of the air, right? And so I'm diving into a little rabbit hole right now, so I'm going to cut this video a little short now, but you kind of get the point that I'm making. So I kind of wanted to talk about this and just kind of bring it up. So if people ask, you know, these are my kind of thoughts. I don't like to go into these videos too much because I think they like to put politics into it and think I'm one way rather than the other, or make assumptions on their own. But I wanted to talk about this specifically as, you know, tensions are rising as far as gun stuff going. I'm an instructor and I talk to my students about this kind of thing. So I wanted to bring this to you guys, put it on your platter. What do you guys think about this? Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think. Like the video, share it with anybody you think would benefit from it. Again, my background is a military, did 4 years, deployed to Afghanistan 2017, and then private security realm, continuing to do that all the way up to executive protection, and then now full-time firearms instructor with the private security stuff. But that's my background, right? So nothing super high speed. I wasn't special forces, I wasn't this or I wasn't that. So just kind of keep that in mind when we think about who's talking, who's speaking. I'm a husband as well, don't have kids or anything like that, but things to really think about. And this is kind of something to sit and marinate on and really think about it as people have been asking me, more close relatives have been asking me about self-protection, and realization of stuff has been coming around. So yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments. Share if anybody think would benefit from this video. Come take a class with us. I'll be happy to come and train you if you're in the local area. If not, find a local instructor, a good reputable instructor, and teach you how to survive this stuff, not just basic standard governmental standards, because typically they go below what I believe you should be able to learn. Some might go higher. I don't know every law, but go somebody that's really there for you, not just to make a quick dollar. So I'm gonna leave it off with that. I'll see you guys in the next video, and hope to see you and talk to you very soon.